What compels a man to dedicate his entire life to a dream he knows he will likely never see fulfilled? Is it the fervent delusion of madness? Or is it the profound clarity, the unwavering conviction that marks a true visionary? Is it a fool's errand, or the genesis of something world-altering? The answer, perhaps, lies not in the outcome, but in the fire that burns within the man himself. A fire ignited by injustice, fueled by hope, and tempered by an unyielding will. In the late 19th century, China was a nation drowning in its own despair. The once proud dragon lay weakened, its scales tarnished by corruption and incompetence. The Qing Dynasty, a dynasty that had ruled for centuries, gasped its last ragged breaths, its reign of power crumbling like ancient clay. Foreign powers, like vultures circling a dying beast, had carved China into spheres of influence, each vying for control of its resources and its very soul. Poverty was rife, suffering was commonplace, and hopelessness hung thick in the air like the smoke from opium dens. One man saw this decay, this agonizing suffering, this pervasive hopelessness, and instead of surrendering to it, instead of accepting the inevitable decline, he dared to dream of a different future. He dared to envision a China reborn, a China strong and independent, a China for the people. A future where his children could stand tall. This is the story of Sun Yat-sen, a man who dared to challenge the status quo, who ignited the fire of revolution in the hearts of millions, and who, against seemingly insurmountable odds, reshaped the course of Chinese history, though he would not live to see the full fruits of his labor. A man whose name would echo through the ages as the father of the nation. But at what cost did this dream come? And could one man truly change destiny? Prepare to witness the struggle, the triumphs, and the sacrifices of a life dedicated to a single, audacious vision. The seeds of revolution. The year was 1866, a time when the weight of centuries pressed heavily upon the shoulders of China. In the tranquil embrace of Cuiheng village, Guangdong province, a boy named Sun Yat-sen was born. He entered a world seemingly untouched by the storms brewing on the horizon, a world of rice paddies, ancestral temples, and the comforting rhythm of rural life. He might have lived out his days as a farmer, a scholar, or a simple villager, his life tracing the well-worn path of generations before him. But fate, as it often does, had a different, far more turbulent destiny in store for him. Even in the supposed peace of Cuiheng, the cracks in the foundation of the Qing Dynasty were impossible to ignore. Young Yat-sen witnessed the slow, agonizing decay of the empire with his own eyes. Whispers of famine carried on the wind, tales of corrupt officials lining their pockets while peasants starved. Foreign powers, like hungry wolves, circled the weakened giant, carving out spheres of influence and demanding concessions with impunity. These injustices, these simmering resentments, were the unspoken language of his childhood. But it was not within the confines of China that the seeds of revolution truly took root in Sun Yat-sen's heart. At the tender age of 13, he embarked on a journey that would forever alter the course of his life, and ultimately the fate of his nation. He traveled across the vast ocean to the distant shores of Hawaii, a land that pulsed with a vitality and modernity utterly foreign to his experience. Hawaii was a revelation, a blinding explosion of progress that shattered the gilded cage of tradition he had always known. He marveled at the iron horses that thundered across the land, the railways that stitched the islands together with threads of steel. He stood in awe beneath the incandescent glow of electric lights, banishing the darkness with the flick of a switch. But more than the technological marvels, it was the spirit of the people that captivated him most. He saw a society where voices mattered, where leadership was earned through merit and service, not bestowed by birthright. He witnessed the power of democracy, a system where the people, not emperors or dynasties, held the reins of power. The contrast between the vibrant, forward-looking Hawaii and his own ailing homeland was stark, almost unbearable. A burning question began to consume him, a question that would drive him for the rest of his days. What if China could break free from the shackles of its past? What if it could cast off the weight of corruption, foreign domination, and imperial decay? What if it could be reborn not as a relic of a bygone era, but as a modern, powerful nation, a beacon of hope for its people? The answer, he knew, lay not in acceptance, but in revolution. The quiet boy from Cuiheng was beginning to dream of a new China, a China he would dedicate his life to creating. The revolutionary without a home. Sun Yat-sen was no mere dreamer. He was a man of relentless action. The year was 1894, and the air in China crackled with discontent. Fueled by righteous anger and a burning desire for change, Sun Yat-sen ignited the spark, founding the revived China Society. This clandestine organization, shrouded in secrecy and sworn to the cause, had one audacious goal: the complete and utter overthrow of the decaying Qing Dynasty. But revolutions are not born in a day, they are forged in the crucible of struggle. Sun's early attempts to ignite the tinderbox of rebellion were met with brutal force. Uprisings, meticulously planned and bravely executed, crumbled under the weight of the imperial army. Betrayed and hunted, he was branded a traitor by the desperate Qing, a price slapped on his head that guaranteed a noose if caught. Forced to abandon his homeland, Sun Yat-sen became a fugitive, a man without a country, forever looking over his shoulder. Yet exile did not extinguish the fire within him, it merely fanned the flames. Instead of succumbing to despair, he transformed himself into a tireless pilgrim, traversing continents and oceans in pursuit of a single, unwavering goal. He became a master of persuasion, a charismatic leader capable of drawing support from the unlikeliest of allies. Japanese businessmen sympathetic to his cause, Chinese immigrants yearning for a better future in the United States, and even curious onlookers in the heart of London. He navigated treacherous political landscapes, always one step ahead of his pursuers. His activities did not go unnoticed. On one daring occasion, he was kidnapped by agents of the Qing government on British soil, imprisoned and facing certain death. Only through a stroke of pure luck, combined with the subtle pressure of sympathetic British figures, did he manage to escape the clutches of his captors, a testament to his growing influence and the international interest in his cause. No matter how many borders he crossed, no matter how many times he was forced to flee, one thing remained a constant beacon in the stormy seas of his life: his vision of a free, modern, and independent China. That vision, fueled by unwavering conviction, was the compass that guided him, the fire that sustained him, and the promise that one day he would return to claim the future he so passionately believed in. The revolution that changed everything. The air crackled with tension, thick with the scent of gunpowder and the screams of the wounded. 4 years, the Chinese people had endured humiliation, poverty, and the iron grip of the Qing Dynasty. Reform attempts had sputtered and died, leaving only simmering resentment. But in 1911, that resentment finally erupted. It began in Wuhan, a seemingly insignificant mutiny amongst disgruntled soldiers. Another failed uprising, the dynasty's officials sneered, easily crushed and forgotten. But this time, the fire refused to be extinguished. News of the Wuhan uprising, amplified by whispers of hope and promises of a better future, spread like wildfire across the land. One by one, the provinces rose up in rebellion, casting off the shackles of Qing rule. Students, farmers, intellectuals, and even some within the Qing military joined the cause. The Qing dynasty, once seemingly invincible, crumbled with astonishing speed, its centuries-long reign brought to a sudden and violent end in a matter of months. From exile, the revolutionary leader Sun Yat-sen returned in triumph. He was declared the first provisional president of the new Republic of China, a beacon of hope for a nation yearning for freedom and self-determination. But the victory was far from complete. The fledgling government was weak, teetering on the brink of collapse. Warlords, powerful regional commanders with their own private armies, still held sway over vast territories, defying the authority of the central government. To prevent a descent into devastating civil war, Sun Yat-sen made a painful decision. He stepped down from the presidency, placing his trust in Yuan Shikai, a powerful general who promised to unite the country under a strong, centralized government. It was a gamble, a desperate attempt to salvage the revolution. But power, as it often does, corrupted. Yuan Shikai, intoxicated by ambition and fueled by a lust for absolute control, betrayed the ideals of the revolution. He dissolved the parliament, suppressed dissent, and in a breathtaking act of treachery, declared himself Emperor of China. The dream of a democratic China, the vision for which so many had fought and died, was slipping away once more, threatening to drown in the rising tide of autocracy and despair. The revolution had changed everything, but had it changed anything for the better? The fight, it seemed, was far from over. The final battle for unity. The dream of a unified China, envisioned by Sun Yat-sen, seemed to slip further away with each passing day. The warlords, entrenched in their regional power bases, continued to carve up the country, their armies vying for control and resources. Foreign powers, ever opportunistic, further complicated the situation, vying for influence and economic advantage. The whispers of revolution, once a roaring cry, were now muffled by the din of internal conflict. Yet, Sun Yat-sen refused to yield to despair. Though weakened, he possessed an unshakable belief in the potential of China and the righteousness of his cause. Recognizing the need for a more structured and disciplined movement, he reorganized his revolutionary forces, formally establishing the Kuomintang, the Nationalist Party. This was not merely a renaming, it was a strategic overhaul designed to create a cohesive political and military force capable of challenging the warlords and foreign dominance. Underneath the surface, political struggles continued to make and break alliances. Sun Yat-sen understood that achieving his ambitious goals required more than just internal strength. He needed allies, powerful allies who could provide resources and expertise. In a controversial but ultimately pragmatic move, he sought and accepted aid from the Soviet Union. The Soviets, eager to spread their influence and support anti-imperialist movements, offered financial assistance, military advisors, and ideological guidance. This alliance, though fraught with potential complications, provided the Kuomintang with a much-needed lifeline, bolstering their military capabilities and organizational efficiency. Sun Yat-sen knew what was at stake: a united China, free from the oppressive grip of warlords and the exploitative influence of foreign control. This vision fueled his tireless efforts, his unwavering determination to forge a new destiny for his nation. He traveled tirelessly, speaking to students, workers, and soldiers, igniting the flames of patriotism and national pride. He preached the three principles of the people: nationalism, democracy, and people's livelihood, offering a roadmap for a brighter future. But time, the cruelest of adversaries, was not on Sun Yat-sen's side. In 1925, while in Beijing, tirelessly rallying support for his cause and seeking to negotiate with rival factions, he fell gravely ill. The diagnosis was devastating: cancer. The disease ravaged his body, sapping his strength and dimming the fire in his eyes. At the age of 58, Sun Yat-sen, the father of the Chinese Revolution, succumbed to his illness, leaving behind a China still divided, still uncertain, still grappling with the forces of chaos and fragmentation. He had fought his entire life for a dream he would never see come true. His death cast a long shadow over the nation, leaving many to wonder if his vision of a unified and prosperous China would ever be realized. The future remained uncertain, but Sun Yat-sen's legacy as a revolutionary leader and a champion of Chinese nationalism would continue to inspire generations to come. The seeds of unity had been sown. It remained to be seen whether they would take root and blossom into the nation he so desperately desired. A legacy that lives on. Sun Yat-sen, the father of modern China, did not live to witness the realization of his ultimate vision: a strong, unified, and prosperous nation. He passed before the fragmented country he sought to heal could truly mend itself. Yet, his physical absence did not diminish his profound impact. Instead, his ideas, meticulously crafted and passionately championed, took root and blossomed, shaping the very course of China's tumultuous and transformative 20th century. His three principles of the people: nationalism, democracy, and the people's livelihood, resonated deeply with a nation yearning for liberation and progress. These principles, though interpreted and implemented differently by various factions, became the ideological bedrock upon which both the nationalist and communist parties sought to build their visions for the future. They fueled revolutions, guided policy decisions, and ultimately shaped the modern history of China in ways Sun Yat-sen could only have dreamed of. Even today, decades after his death, his name is spoken with reverence and respect across both mainland China and Taiwan. He is remembered not just as a historical figure, but as a guiding light. Statues of him, stoic and resolute, stand proudly in public squares from bustling Shanghai to the tranquil hills of Taipei, serving as constant reminders of his unwavering dedication to his people. His dream, though incomplete in his lifetime, continues to echo through time, a powerful reminder that meaningful change is rarely immediate. It is a testament to the enduring power of vision and perseverance. Visionaries, like Sun Yat-sen, may not always see their aspirations fully realized within their own lives, but they plant the seeds, nurture the nascent hopes, and lay the groundwork for future generations to cultivate and bring to fruition. Perhaps that is the most profound mark of true greatness, not solely in achieving the complete realization of a personal dream, but in igniting within others the unwavering passion, the unyielding belief, and the enduring hope to chase that dream, adapt it to their own time, and ultimately build a better future for all. Sun Yat-sen's legacy is not a finished chapter, but an ongoing narrative, inspiring each new generation to strive for a stronger, more unified, and more prosperous China, guided by the enduring principles he so eloquently articulated. The revolution is not yet complete. All my comrades must continue the struggle. The call to arms, frozen in time, still rings out across China, a constant reminder of the long road ahead. But what challenges remain on this path to revolution's end? Is it bridging the gap between the booming coastal cities and the still struggling rural regions? Is it balancing economic growth with environmental protection? Or is it navigating the complex geopolitical landscape, striving for global influence while maintaining internal stability? And so, China continues its journey, still shaped by the man who dared to dream. However, the dream itself remains debated and contested, as China grapples with its own internal contradictions and external pressures. The struggle is not just about economic advancement, but also about defining its identity and its role in a rapidly changing world. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time. We encourage you to explore the multifaceted challenges and opportunities that lie ahead for China as it continues to strive for its vision of the future.